Hey guys, today we are going to show you how you can use news items to learn English. Let's get into it. So today's news item that we're going to look at is taken from the BBC News website, and it's all about Kim Kardashian being tone deaf. Let's read the first few paragraphs together. So it says, Kim Kardashian West has been accused of being tone deaf after spending her 40th birthday on a private island with a large group of family and friends. The reality star said the trip followed 2 weeks of multiple health screens and asking everyone to quarantine. Posting photos of the event on Twitter, Kardashian West said she was humbly reminded of how privileged my life is. So let's just consider some of the words that were used in those paragraphs. So we can see it says that Kim Kardashian West has been accused of being tone deaf. So accused means that someone has said you are guilty of something. So for example, I might accuse my neighbour of stealing the apples from my tree. It means that I have noticed apples are missing and I think he is the one that has taken them. So I am saying he has stolen my apples. I am accusing him of stealing my apples. Here, Kim is being accused of being tone deaf. So what is being tone deaf? Well, being tone deaf usually refers to someone not being able to recognize musical notes. However, in this case, tone deaf is being used to mean that Kim Kardashian is insensitive to other people's opinions. It means that she doesn't care about other people's feelings. So Kim Kardashian is being accused of being tone deaf because she spent her 40th birthday party on a private island with friends and family. Now the next paragraph says that the reality star said the trip followed 2 weeks of multiple health screens. So what are multiple health screens? Well, the word multiple simply means many, more than one. And health screens means health tests. So her friends and family had many health tests before going to this island. It also says that she asked everyone to quarantine. Now that is a word that you've probably heard a lot in the last few months. Quarantine. To quarantine means to isolate yourself or something in order to avoid passing on infection. For example, people who have COVID-19 must quarantine themselves, perhaps for a couple of weeks, so that they do not pass on that infection to other people. The third paragraph said that Kim Kardashian was reminded how privileged her life was. So what does the word privileged mean? Well, privileged means to have special advantages. So for example, if you were born into a family that has lots of money, people would say that you are privileged because your family can afford to send you to the best schools. They can buy you the best houses, the nicest cars. So you are privileged. You have a special advantage above everyone else. So Kim Kardashian, having this special party, recognized just how privileged she was, how much of an advantage she has over other people. Now the article goes on to say, while some fans have praised her candour, others said the trip was insensitive to families separated by COVID-19. This is so grotesque, one user responded. The rich can pretend to be normal on a private island. Actual normal people are cancelling their Thanksgiving and Christmas. British musician Peter Frampton also replied, saying, "Are you that insensitive you don't realise this is not what the majority of people during the worst COVID spike yet want to hear? People are going to food banks, not private islands." So you'll notice it said that some fans have praised her candour. So what does it mean, firstly, to praise something? Well, it means to express admiration or approval of something. So, for example, you might praise someone's artwork. You'd say, "That's a lovely piece of art. Did you paint it yourself?" You are expressing admiration for it. Now here, her fans are expressing admiration for her candour. So what is candour? Well, candour is the quality of being open and honest about something. So her fans are praising her, expressing admiration for her honesty. Others said that the trip was insensitive to families that are separated by COVID. If someone is insensitive, then it means they do not care about other people's feelings. They don't care how other people feel. One user said that it was grotesque. What does grotesque mean? Well, usually it refers to something that is extremely ugly, something that is not nice to look at. However, in this case, grotesque means inappropriate to a shocking degree. It means it is extremely inappropriate. Grotesque is a very strong word to show that you do not approve with something. If you say that it is grotesque, then it means it is horrible, you do not approve at all. A British musician said that the majority of people would not want to hear about someone's party on a private island. Now, what does the word majority mean? Well, majority means the biggest number, the most people. So, for example, if 20% of people walk to work and 80% of people drove to work, then the majority of people, the most people, drove to work. They are the majority of people. 80%, the most, the majority. So this musician is saying that the majority of people, most people, do not want to hear about celebrities having parties on private islands while we are stuck at home and not able to see our families. He then goes on to say that people are going to food banks, not private islands. So what does he mean by food banks? What is a food bank? Well, a food bank is somewhere that you go to be given food if you cannot afford to buy it yourself. Now, these have become much more popular in England in the last few years. Many people now have to rely on food banks in order to get food for their families. So they go to this food bank, they are given some basic foods because they cannot afford to feed themselves. So this musician is saying that is the situation most people, the majority of people, are in. They are having to go to food banks to rely on the charity of others to feed themselves and their families. They do not want to be hearing about celebrities having parties on private islands. So that's what this news item was all about. Kim Kardashian taking her family off to a private island for a party in the middle of COVID. Now, reading the news can be a fantastic way to learn English. You do not need to understand every single word that you read. I'd recommend that when you read through a news article, look for just 3 or 4 words that you do not understand and then look them up. Work out the meaning of those 3 or 4 words. And if you do that every single day, you will quickly build up your vocabulary and you will improve in English very, very quickly. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you liked it, make sure you hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.